welcome to another episode of Streaming Safari here at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We're coming to you from inside today, so I do have a mask on just because of our current Nevada requirements and all of our areas are open to our guests. So, yeah, but I needed somewhere that was a little bit dark, and Denise is going to shut off the light in a minute. I think my mic's been working pretty well, so hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. And I'm coming here to you today with Popeye, a bird you don't get to see too often. He's one of our birds that lives in our gift shop. He's actually an older bird. He's about 35 years old, and he's a Panamanian Amazon. And as usual, I would like... What are you doing? You can't go over there. As usual, I'd like to thank you guys if you've been able to make any donations or come out to visit us. We are a nonprofit, and so anything that you can do is super helpful to us and helpful to our amazing animals, like Popeye here. You want to come over here, Pops? And as usual, all those links will be right down below, even though we're not coming to you live today. I'm sorry. You want a snack? Apparently we don't want snacks.
Never said.
But so we've had a couple episodes where I've talked to you about shadows and light, and that's because Denise pointed out to us a while ago that it was going to be Groundhog's Day coming up, and Groundhog's Day was actually just the other day. It's always celebrated on February 2nd, and the first official Groundhog's Day was actually February 2nd, 1887, although the tradition has been celebrated long before that, and even with hedgehogs in Germany. And so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of information about Groundhog's Day. When they pull that groundhog out of the ground, his name is Punxsutawney Phil, and he lives in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. They get him out of the ground, and they decide whether or not he's seen his shadow. And if he sees his shadow, which he did this year, it's supposed to mean that there are about 6 more weeks of winter. And that's because, as we know, it seems to rain a lot in the spring in a lot of areas. And so when the clouds come in, you're not going to be able to see your shadow, right? That's kind of what we did a little bit last week, and we'll show you a little bit about that this time. You need the light to be able to see your shadow, the light to go through in some places and the light to be blocked in other places. So if he does see his shadow, it means that it's not cloudy outside. It's not going to be rainy in the spring yet. So there's going to be more winter if it's really clear out. Although his predictions aren't quite always on the nose. Are your predictions better, Popeye? All right, well, we're going to have Denise shut off the light, and we'll do a little more shadowy things. Can I have your phone? All right, now that we're in mostly the dark, and I found a flashlight, we will try to see what the light does when we shine it on Popeye. You can see his shadow there in the background. He's making little noises. You can even see him move his beak. And we talked about how the light is working last week. So when the light hits Popeye, it gets blocked, right? Because Popeye is not a translucent object. He is solid. And when I move the light around, his shadow shifts around, which is why your shadow changes places when it's in the sun, right? So depending on where the sun is located, that's going to change where your shadow is. And then if I get far away from Popeye with the light, his shadow gets small and it's only behind him because he's not blocking as much light. But when I move close up to him, his shadow is actually going to get larger because he's actually in the way of all of the light. And so that's kind of how shadows work. And so if Punxsutawney Phil is out in the sunlight, he's going to see his shadow. But if it's cloudy, he's not. And that's essentially our streaming safari for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, guys.